Former Fox News host Eric Bolling is joining forces with the White House following his son's death from an opioid overdose.
We got that phone call that every parent dreads, and it was a young man, hysterical, saying, "Mr. Bolling, call Kayla right away." He texted me her number. Kayla was a friend of his, and I called, and she was crying, and all I could hear was crying. And I remember the first thing out of my mind, and I don't know why, it was, "Is he alive?" And she said no.
Oof. Bolling addressed a gathering of conservatives last week outside of Washington. That's when I spoke to him about how the opioid crisis is affecting American families. Thank you for joining us, and I am so sorry for your loss.
Lauren, thank you so much for having me. It's a really important issue.
Parents, just like me, a parent of two teens, I know never want to have this happen, just like you didn't. What is your message to parents who don't think this could ever happen to their child?
Very good question. And I kind of coined this term. It's called "not my kid" syndrome. As a parent, we tend to think, not my kid, my kid's too good, my kid's too smart, my kid's too good an athlete. What I say is I've seen so many stories of parents saying, you know, I had the straight A daughter, or I had the quarterback, it was my son. Both of them are dead because parents think, oh, I didn't have to have that talk about opioids.
Right.
Opioids will kill black, white, Hispanic, gay, straight, boy, girl, rich, poor. Opioids
Old, young,
don't care.
right.
They kill everybody, right?
Your son died. I will never forget reading this. The same day that you were fired from Fox News Channel after sexual harassment allegations. You received a lot of negative...
Stop. Not fired. What happened was Fox and I separated, in their words, were we separating with Eric amicably. And I knew there would be a push saying that I was fired. I wasn't fired, but I couldn't go out there and tell people about it because later that night, my son passed away. And so for the last 6 months, all I've been hearing is, you were fired.
Sure.
No, it was a separation.
Okay, all right. President Trump called you personally after your son passed away. How are you working with the White House to fight the opioid crisis?
Not only did the president call me the day after my son passed, I was in Colorado, the phone rang. We were making arrangements, so I was going to see the coroner. And it's the absolute worst thing in the world you can be doing is going to see the coroner to talk about your son's death. The phone rings, it's President Trump, just telling me he cares and he's thinking about me. 6 weeks later, it's Thanksgiving, this past Thanksgiving, and there's that proverbial empty chair. There's turkey on the table. Our family's going to walk over to the table, and I know it's going to be a disaster. We're all going to be breaking down in tears. The phone rings again, 5 o'clock. The phone rings, and it's President Trump again saying, I put him on speaker. He said, we're thinking about you, Eric, and my wife, Adrienne, and our family. Just want to let you know we're thinking about you. I realized he had an empathy and compassion and care about this issue, especially with the amount of children and kids that are dying from it. So I used that as an opportunity to ask him. I said, Mr. President, can I come see you the next time in D.C.? Can we talk about this? And he said, absolutely.
We're not talking about opioids right now as a community. The Center for Disease Control, though, says that overdoses involving opioids killed more than 42,000 people in 2016. What can communities, not just the politicos, do to address this?
Lauren, 64,000 the following year, last year. It's just spiked over the last 3 or 4 years into numbers that are astronomical, and they're going in the wrong direction. I think awareness is very important. I think there are so many prongs to this. It's like an octopus, so many tentacles. It's big pharma overproducing, it's doctors overprescribing, it's illegal drugs coming through the southern border. It's a lack of awareness by parents. Not my kid syndrome is killing people. If you're a parent and you see a dramatic shift in a personality in someone you love, seek help fast.
Eric, thank you so much for joining us. We worked together at Fox News, and my heart just goes out to you and your family for everything you're going through. It takes a lot of courage to come out in the public eye and address this issue.
God bless. Thank you, Lauren.